Chapter 2787. Zhang Manlin turned around. When she saw the man, her face was full of disgust. "What's up?" Zhang Manlin's reaction was cold. Trickster was wearing a suit he had just bought. He had a haircut and his face was filled with excitement. I have good news for you. Mr. Qin promised to give us a car and a house." "What does that have to do with me?" Zhang Manlin glared at him and asked. Shouldn't we be happy? Previously I was thinking that it would be hard for you to follow me to the ends of the earth. Now it seems that I have everything. I just called my family. My parents want us to get married as soon as possible. As for how much money you want as a wedding gift, we can discuss it. Oh right, my mother also said that if you can give birth to a son for me, I will write the house in your name. What do you think? Are you crazy? Zhang Manlin looked at the man in front of her with disdain. "Hey you country bumpkin. Listen to me." Zhang Manlin pointed at him arrogantly. "My name is not Tay. I said you can call me by my name. My name is Zhang Shubao. You can call me Bao." "You're shameless. Let me tell you, you country bumpkin. Don't dream about it. I'll never marry you." "Then why did you say that back then?" The man looked shocked. "If I didn't say that back then, I was afraid that you people would hurt me. You think I like you? Why don't you take a look in the mirror and see who you are? I like you. What a joke. You country bumpkin who doesn't know anything. You should be glad that your big brother chose this path. That's why you're still alive. Otherwise, President Qin would have chopped you into pieces. Also, I'll never forget what you did to me. If it weren't for you bandits, I would have called the police and arrested you. Do you know that it's rape? For someone like you, it wouldn't be a pity even if you were to be an old man for 10 years. I don't have time to deal with you right now. You better not come and bother me. If you annoy me, do you believe that I have 100 ways to separate your head from your body? Do you think this is your poor upper ditch? Idiot. Also, let me tell you, you better not tell anyone about us. Otherwise, even if you're guilty of rape, you'll go to jail immediately." With that, Zhang Manlin turned around and left, leaving the dumbfounded man behind. Zhang Manlin hated this man to the core. If it weren't for Qin Chu taking care of them, she would have called the police long ago. After thinking about it, if she made a public announcement, the news of her being raped would be made public. At that time, not only would she not be able to be a decent person, it would be even more difficult for her to seduce Qin Chu. Therefore, Zhang Manlin swallowed her anger and decided to deal with this man after she dealt with Qin Chu. She didn't expect him to take the initiative to come to her door and talk about something as childish as marriage. Although Zhang Shubao was a little smart, he didn't expect that the women in the city would be so fickle. Just a few days ago they were still lovey-dovey with each other, calling each other big brother. Now they had turned their backs on each other. His heart was also filled with disappointment. In the evening, Huamin received a call from the first hospital on his way home after work. "Big Sister Yan," Huamin greeted politely. "Mian, I saw a woman who looked a lot like you come to our hospital today." "Really?" Huamin thought that it must be Zhang Manlin. "At first glance I thought it was you and was shocked. Then I took a closer look and realized that she just looked a little like you. So I wanted to ask you if she's your relative." "Oh? Then why did she go to the hospital? To see a doctor?" Huamin was curious. Chapter 2788. To be honest, I'm a bit embarrassed to say it out loud." Upon hearing this, Huamin had a rough idea of what was going on. "It's a hysterectomy." "I see. Thank you, Big Sister Yan." "You're welcome. Do you know this person?" "Yeah, I do." Huamin nodded. "I knew it. Why didn't you tell me in advance if she's a friend? I could have pulled some strings for her." "We're not that close, just acquaintances," Huamin explained. "Oh, I see. Okay, then I'll leave you to it. Mion, come visit us when you have time." "Okay, Big Sister Yan. Bye." After hanging up, Huamin's imagination began to run wild. Was Zhang Manlin up to something? Why was she in such a hurry to have a hysterectomy? She wasn't thinking of doing something shameless to Mr. Qin, was she? Also, although Zhang Manlin was annoying, Qin Chu and Suyu both said that she didn't have a boyfriend. If she didn't have a boyfriend, then how did she lose her virginity? Could it be that she was having an affair with Hua Xiqian? Was it because she looked like him that Hua Xiqian wanted to use her as a substitute? At the thought of this, Huamin felt so disgusted that he wanted to vomit. Huamin had underestimated Hua Xiqian. Even if Hua Xiqian was muddle-headed and sexually frustrated, he would never touch a woman like Zhang Manlin. All these years Huasichen had only slept with Emo Shueg, Song Isher and later Yen Ruoshi. He also had a mistress who was pregnant with his child but died tragically. Other than that he wasn't a mess. Huasichen was casual when it came to sex. However, deep down he was obsessed with cleanliness. He always thought that one day he would be able to sleep with the woman he loved. That would be the happiest thing in the world. Unfortunately, after so many years, it had never been realized. Huasichen had always felt that he was very strong. However, Qinchu was even stronger. His pursuit of Huamin had always been getting harder and harder. Not to mention the addition of Su Yu. When Huamin drove home, Qin Ning was making desserts with the two babies. Perhaps he was trying to make them happy, afraid that they would be traumatized by the kidnapping. Therefore, Qin Ning and Tang Chuan bought a lot of ingredients and brought them home to make all kinds of desserts. "Sis-in-law, you're back. Come and see what your baby made for you." Qin Ning smiled. Little Bean ran over with a small piece of cake in her hand. "Mommy, I made this myself. You have to finish it all." "What's this smell?" Huamin squatted down and hugged Little Bean with one hand. "Mango. It's delicious. I've already tried it for you." "Ha, you little greedy cat." Huamin touched the tip of Little Bean's nose lovingly and picked up the cake to eat. His daughter's cake didn't look good, but it tasted good. "Pudding, what about you?" Huamin looked at Pudding with a piece of cake in her hand. "Don't eat mine. You'll get fat if you eat so much cream." As expected of his daughter, she always thought of her mother. Huamin felt warm in his heart. "Pudding, Little Bean, come and help Grandma water the flowers," Lady Qin called lovingly. "Okay." The twins put down what they were doing and walked towards the garden outside. "Sis-in-law, come here. I have something to discuss with you." Qin Ning waved at Huamin mysteriously. Chapter 2789. Okay. Qin Ning was being mysterious. Huamin thought she was going to talk about her relationship with Tang Chuan. To his surprise, Qin Ning dragged him to the pantry and said, "Sis-in-law, I suddenly thought of something very important." "What is it?" Huamian asked in a serious tone. "My nieces must have been scared out of their wits during this kidnapping. So?" Huamin waited for her to continue. "So, I plan to take them back to the States and find a top counselor to give them counseling." "Huamin, but I'm worried that you and my brother want children and won't agree. So, I want to ask for your opinion first," Qin Ning said seriously. Ning Ning, listen to me first." Huamin tried to comfort Qin Ning. "Sis-in-law, go ahead. First of all, your brother won't agree. There's no need to discuss it. After this incident, he's become more dependent on his daughters. Every day after work he wants to see them first thing. Second of all, this isn't the first time they've been kidnapped. After Huasi kidnapped them, I was worried that they would be traumatized. So I asked Xiaowei to counsel them, but Xiaowei gave them 3 psychological tests. Guess what? What? Qin Ning was curious. Not only are they not traumatized at all, but they're also thinking more and more. Xiaowei said that they don't have any psychological problems at all. Instead, they treat the kidnapping as survival training. Pudding even secretly wrote a summary of what she did well and what she didn't do well during the kidnapping. "Oh my god. Sis-in-law, are you sure you're not joking with me?" Qin Ning was shocked. "Do you think I'd joke about something like this?" Huamin sighed. "What about this time? Did you give them a psychological test? I heard that Little Bean even hurt her head when she was kidnapped. She must have been scared." Qin Ning's heart ached for Little Bean. This time both of them wrote summaries in their diaries. Pudding even thought that this was a chance for Pudding to improve her negotiation skills. My god. Really? Qin Ning couldn't believe it. The diary is in the drawer of their room. I suggest you take a look at it when you have time. So this time it's completely different. Look at them, they're eating and sleeping well. Their faces are full of arrogance. When they came here they even made a big move. They kept saying that they're going to team up with their daddy and torture that bitch. Qin Ning. So, do you really think the two of them need counseling? I'm worried that after tutoring them, teacher will be tortured to the point that he can't take it anymore. Ha! Sister-in-law, you're too funny. Who would insult their own daughter like that? Qin Ning burst into laughter. Oh, you're wrong. I'm not slandering them. I'm just stating facts. Aya, alright. My nieces, what should we do? He's like a god. Qin Ning smiled. So you don't have to worry about them. So, sister-in-law, are you sure you gave birth to 2 little princesses? Why do I feel like you gave birth to 2 Sun Wukongs? Oh, you're wrong. Even Sun Wukong isn't that energetic. They're only 3 years old. I can't imagine what they'll be like when they grow up. Huamin covered his face. Just then Huamin's phone rang. As soon as Huamin picked it up, he heard a voice say, "Huamin, come over. There's a fight here." Chapter 2790. Who hit someone? Huamin was confused. Wei Dong hit someone. Who are you? Huamin didn't recognize him. I'm Han Su. Oh, class president. Come quickly, Huamin. This started because of you. If you were here, they wouldn't have fought. Where are you now? Mom's restaurant on Jiangyin Road. Okay, I'm coming now. Huamin finished the call and walked out. Mommy, are you going out? Little Bean walked across Huamin with a watering can. Yeah, Mommy is going out to do something. Daddy will be back soon. You guys eat first, don't wait for me. Okay, but Mommy, you have to be careful. If someone flirts with you, just beat him up. Little Bean reminded. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Then he drove the Porsche sports car out the door. Huamin rarely contacted Han Su and the others. He even left the high school WeChat group. She didn't want to cause trouble. She looked for Huamin several times during class reunions. In the past, Huamin felt embarrassed and would attend. Later, after the incident with Lu Zhe, Huamin decided not to give face to anyone. She came today because she heard that Wei Dong was involved. After his downfall, Wei Dong was different from before. Huamian took the initiative to lend him money so that he could make a comeback. Wei Dong was very grateful and treated Huamian as his savior. Now that he heard that Wei Dong was involved in a fight, Huamin felt that she should at least take a look. When Huamin arrived at the place Han Su mentioned, the police had already arrived and were taking Wei Dong out. Huamin went to the Municipal Public Security Bureau a few times because of the twins. Most of the officers there knew her and Qin Chu. Therefore, when the policeman saw Huamin, he actually took the initiative to greet him. Mrs. Qin, you're here too? You are? Huamin was confused. Ah, I'm from the Municipal Bureau. I work for Director Gao. Oh, they're from the Municipal Bureau. Huamin nodded. Did you handle this matter? Yes, we came here as soon as we received a call from the police saying that there was a fight here. This is my friend. Can I have a few words with him? Huamin pointed at Wei Dong behind him. Of course. The young policeman was very polite to Huamin. Huamin walked over and saw Wei Dong in a sorry state. What's the situation? A drunken fight? Huamian frowned slightly. Why are you here? Wei Dong was surprised to see Huamin. Han Su called me and told me that something happened to you. Ah, it's nothing. I was just drunk and got into a fight, Wei Dong said calmly as if he didn't want to talk about it. Who did you hit? Is he one of your classmates? Huamin thought that since he was drinking with Han Su and the others, he must be from his class. Yes, Xiao Peng and the others. I beat them all up. Those bastards. Wei Dong seemed to be very angry and kept cursing. Where are they? Huamin looked around but didn't see Xiao Peng and the others. They're hospitalized. Huamin, how badly did you beat them up? They're hospitalized. Huamin was speechless. I'm not sure, but I beat them to death. Really? For what reason? Did you kill your father or steal your wife? Huamin was both angry and amused. It's nothing. Don't ask. It's windy tonight. You should go back, Wei Dong said. Then he followed the policeman into the police car. Officer, this is my friend. Can you talk to Director Gao and see if I can bail him out first? Huamin decided to give it a try. Chapter 2791. That's not a problem, but you should call our director. Huamin took out his cell phone and called Gao Ran, but Gao Ran's phone was turned off. Huamin immediately called Xu Lingling, but she told him that Gao Ran was at the Municipal Public Security Bureau and that if his phone was turned off, it meant that he was in a meeting. Huamin felt very awkward. His phone is turned off, so he's probably in a meeting. What should we do? Mrs. Qin, how about we take him away first? After all, someone called the police and saw all the commotion. You can go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau and bail him out. That's better, one of the police officers suggested. Okay, I'll go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Just like that, Wei Dong was still taken away by the police. Just then Han Su walked out of the restaurant. When he saw Huamin, he walked up to him enthusiastically. Huamin, you're here. What happened with Wei Dong and the others? Oh, it's just a gathering. Then we drank too much and got into a fight. Then why did you say it had something to do with me on the phone? Huamin frowned and asked. Wei Dong didn't tell you? Han Su was surprised. He wouldn't say. Oh, he probably didn't want you to think too much. What's going on? Huamian was losing her patience. It's Xiaopeng and the others. They were drunk and said some nasty things about you. You know that Wei Dong has always been very protective of you, so they started fighting. Wei Dong was quite ruthless this time. He broke Xiaopeng's nose. Two of his buddies tried to help Xiaopeng and were punched a few times by Wei Dong, but in the end Xiaopeng was injured. His wife insisted on calling the police to arrest Wei Dong. That's what happened. What did they say? Huamin felt like Han Su hadn't gotten to the point yet. I don't dare to say it, I'm afraid you'll be angry. Go ahead. I'm not angry. Xiaopeng and the others said. Wei Dong was originally bankrupt, but he made a comeback. When they heard that you were the one who gave him the money, they became suspicious. At this point Han Su raised his head and glanced at Huamin. He wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Suspect what? He suspected that you might not be happy after marrying into a rich family. He wondered if your husband couldn't do it, so he asked Wei Dong for help. Otherwise, why would he be so kind as to lend him so much money? Wei Dong was very angry when he heard that, and that's what happened. Han Su told Huamin the story intermittently and Huamin understood. These people, their minds were really dirty. Huamin, are you all right? Seeing that Huamin was silent, Han Su asked. I'm fine. This matter is actually very simple. I think that Wei Dong didn't hit him too hard. It's just a broken nose. If I was there, I would have beaten him until he couldn't take care of himself for the rest of his life. Han Su was speechless. Even if you're jealous, you shouldn't maliciously slander others, right? You didn't even have the least bit of kindness and courtesy. No wonder you're poor for the rest of your life. Tell Xiaopeng and the others for me, don't even think about extorting a single cent from Wei Dong. Remember, I won't pay them a single cent. Also, don't let me see them on the streets in the future. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Don't talk about being classmates with us. I, Huamin, only care about good and evil, not classmates. After speaking, Huamin turned around and left. Huamin's words shocked Han Su. In his impression, Huamin had always been arrogant, but he had never been this domineering. Most of the time he would let people off whenever possible. He didn't think that this time he would flip out. City Police Detention Room. Huamin opened the door and walked in. He looked at Wei Dong coldly and said, "Come with me." Chapter 2792. Huamin. Wei Dong had already sobered up. Scope. After speaking, Huamin turned around and walked out the door. Wei Dong silently followed behind him. When they walked out of the door, Gao Ran happened to be assigning tasks to his subordinates. Gao Ran, I'm leaving now. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Gao Ran actually knew Wei Dong. After all, they were from the same school. Although they weren't in the same class, Wei Dong left a deep impression on him as a troublemaker. However, as the son of a high-ranking official, Gao Ran rarely paid attention to these so-called businessmen in society. Many people wanted to give him gifts, but they didn't have the connections or were rejected. The reason was simple. Gao Ran was still young and wanted to be promoted. He didn't want to ruin his future for these immediate benefits. Moreover, Gao Ran came from a well-off family. Most of his family members were high-ranking officials and businessmen, so he didn't lack money. Only those who didn't have money would become corrupt when they became officials. Recently, in the first episode of the popular drama In the Name of the People, Zhao Dahan embezzled 200 million yuan. He claimed that he was the son of a farmer, but in reality he was afraid of being poor. Wei Dong lowered his head and didn't dare to look at Gao Ran. He knew that people like Gao Ran and Qin Chu looked down on people like him who weren't doing well. After Huamin brought Wei Dong out, he gestured for him to get into the car and then drove to a parking spot. Huamin, I'm sorry, Wei Dong quickly apologized. Because Huamin had a straight face the entire time. Why are you sorry? Huamin tilted his head and looked at him. I shouldn't have caused trouble and asked you to bail you out. I'm sorry for causing trouble for you. If I knew this would happen, I would have paid some money and settled it privately. I know that they just want to extort money from me. Since you know, why did you still eat with them? Huamin was indeed a little angry. When I was rich, they kept calling me Brother Dong. When I went bankrupt, they hit me while I was down. Now that I've made a comeback, I naturally wanted to show off and vent my anger. I didn't think that Wei Dong lowered his head and didn't dare to continue. I didn't expect that. Not only did I fail to show off, I was also set up by a few paupers, right? Humin asked him. Wei Dong nodded. Wei Dong, you're not a child anymore. There are some things that you should understand. Yes, it was my negligence. Do you know why I'm willing to lend you money but not to those people? Humin asked him. Wei Dong raised his head and looked at Humin before shaking his head. Because after knowing you for so many years, I know that you're not a bad person at heart. You're just a little vain. Those people, on the other hand, are inherently bad and can't be saved. You, on the other hand, climbed out of the entertainment industry but you still want to go back. Tell me, what should I scold you for? You can scold me or hit me. I know it's my fault, but I just can't bear to hear them humiliate you like that. Wei Dong looked wronged. I don't care what people say. If I did, I would have been driven to suicide by the rumors. Since this happened, let's leave it at that. Don't talk to them anymore. Also, I'm telling you, you don't need to pay them any money. Don't take a single cent. I'll take care of it. I'm really sorry to trouble you. Did Hansu call you? Wei Dong looked apologetic. Speaking of Hansu, I have to say a few more words. Okay. Wei Dong nodded. Do you think Hansu is a good person? Humin asked seriously. Chapter 2793. We've always had a good relationship. Wei Dong said. That's why I say you're not scheming enough. No wonder you were tricked so easily. Is Hansu also? Wei Dong finally realized what Humin was going to say. Stay away from him. He's not a good person. You finally got up, don't get involved. Live a good life. Your mom's old and it's not easy for her. Thinking of Wei Dong's mother, the woman who looked so sincere, Humin felt that it wasn't easy for her either. I will. Thank you, Humin. Wei Dong felt that Humin had a lot of good qualities. No wonder so many excellent men were infatuated with her. Even girls would like a woman like her. Hey, you can go back now. Take a taxi. I'm going to drive home. The kids will miss me if I get home too late. After parting ways with Wei Dong, Humin drove home. Luckily, it wasn't too late. The twins were playing a game around their dad. Only when he was with the kids did they see Chinchu's rare smile. Daddy, you're so good at the game. I have to give you a compliment. Little Bean hugged Chinchu's neck and acted cute. Of course. Daddy's IQ isn't high enough to be defeated by a little game like this. Pudding rolled her eyes. Sis, who do you think will win if Daddy and Mommy play a PvP game? Little Bean's imagination ran wild. It's hard to say. I've never seen Mommy play a game. Pudding wasn't sure. What game? Let me try. Humin said as he walked over. Well, Mommy, you're back? Little Bean was pleasantly surprised. Chinchu looked up and saw Humin. His eyes softened. Have you eaten? No. What do you want to eat? I'll get the kitchen to prepare it. I want to eat Mr. Chin's handmade sirloin steak, Humin said deliberately. Hey, I'll do it now. With that, Chinchu put down his phone and got up. Hey, you're really going? Huh, I'm just teasing you. I'm not eating, I'm not that hungry. Come, let me see what game you're so excited about. Humin leaned over. She sat directly on Chinchu's lap. The scene of the family of four was very heartwarming. It's this little game. Daddy, you're awesome. You passed more than 50 levels in one go and didn't die even once. Little Bean praised. What about you and your sister? Humin asked. I died once at level 20. My sister also died at level 35. Oh? So hard, let me try. Humin took Chinchu's phone and started playing. Sis, let's bet. Who do you think is better? Mommy or Daddy? Little Bean asked excitedly. I'm not interested, Pudding said. But you're so boring. I think Mommy is so smart that she'll play better than Daddy, huh? Little Bean flattered Humin. To her surprise, Humin didn't help at all. As soon as Little Bean finished flattering him, Humin hung up. I died. Little Bean, Pudding, huh? Little Bean, Mommy, are you trying to slap me in the face? Pudding, what a slap in the face, Chinchu. Okay, game time is over. You two go find Auntie and take a shower. From now on, your mommy is mine. Humin. Chapter 2794. Just like that, the twins watched as Chinchu walked upstairs with Humin in his arms. Daddy's so bossy, he took Mommy away just like that. Little Bean pouted. That's normal, Mommy belongs to Daddy. Pudding added. So, we're the extra ones. Little Bean felt even more wronged. No, the one in Mommy's belly is the extra one, Pudding answered without hesitation. Chin Chu and Huamian didn't have a good night's sleep after the twins went missing. Now that they finally had a peaceful day, Chin Chu missed his wife dearly. As soon as he walked in, he threw himself on her. Then he kissed her passionately. Mr. Chin, wait, I have something to say. Huamin immediately pushed Chin Chu away. What do you want to say? Say it later. What followed was Mr. Chin's intense passion. Hey honey, I'm serious. Listen to me. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, go ahead, Chin Chu said as his hands continued to wander up and down her body. Honey, I can't. Chin Chu looked up at Huamin and frowned slightly. His wife had been rejecting him recently, which wasn't a good sign. Put on your pants first. Huamin pointed at Mr. Chin's lower body. I took off my pants and you're telling me this? Mr. Chin was disappointed. I have something important to announce. What is it? Is your period here? Don't try to lie to me, I remember it better than you do. Mr. Chin looked at Huamin with disdain, waiting to see what other tricks she had up her sleeves. No, it's not your period. I promise there's a surprise. Say it. Put on your pants first, Huamin emphasized. No, you say it first. If I don't think your reason is convincing enough, I'll continue. Yes, that was Chin Chu's plan. If Huamin's reason was not sufficient, he would continue to push her down. Fine, you win. Huamin was pinned to the bed by Mr. Chin and couldn't muster up any strength. She knew that Mr. Chin had been holding it in for too long. This time he probably couldn't hide it any longer. He was so smart. If he used any other reason, she would definitely not let him off. Honey, are you trying to murder your child? What do you mean? Chin Chu was completely confused. You can't have sex in the first 3 months of pregnancy. Have you forgotten? So, what does it have to do with me? Our daughters are already 3 years old. Mr. Chin was still confused. Alright, you're so stupid. Then I'll get straight to the point. Our wise and mighty Mr. Chin. Listen carefully, I announce that you're going to be a father again. What did you say? Chin Chu's expression couldn't be described as astonishment. You're going to be a father again. Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. Are you telling the truth? Chin Chu couldn't believe that happiness came so suddenly. Yes, it's true. It's been almost 2 months. Huamin continued to smile. Oh my God, Chin Chu straightened up and took a deep breath. Then he pulled Huamin up from the bed, held him in his arms and twirled him around the room happily. Huamin, you're pregnant. That's great, thank you. Chin Chu was so happy that he didn't know what to say. At this moment his behavior was as childish as a child's. Ouch, put me down, I'm dizzy. Huamin punched his shoulder. Wait, did you just say, it's almost 2 months? Chin Chu suddenly realized a serious problem. Yes. Then, why did I just find out? Mr. Chin looked at Huamin with a questioning look. Chapter 2795. Huamin felt guilty. Huamian, am I the last one to know that you're pregnant? No, Mom and Dad don't know either. Huamin smiled. Chin Chu, I'm asking you, who else knows? Chin Chu didn't let it go. Xiaowei knows. Who else knows? Little Bean and Pudding know. And? Chin Chu's expression became more and more unsightly. President Wu knows too. I turned down a chance to study in Germany because I'm pregnant. Who else? Chin Chu continued to ask. Let me think. He knows too. C knows too. Why am I the last one? At this moment Mr. Chin's heart was filled with grievances. I was worried that you'd be worried. Aren't we working together to deal with Huasiqian? I didn't want you to be distracted by me. Bullshit. Huamian, you're too stubborn. Let me calculate the time. You're almost 2 months pregnant. When we arrested Xinjiani and the others, you followed me to the mountains and took the helicopter. You even stayed up all night at the Municipal Public Security Bureau without eating, drinking, or sleeping. Oh my God. You're so stubborn. After Chin Chu realized what had happened, he still felt scared. Huamin was pregnant, but she still followed him everywhere. She even went to the mountains to arrest criminals. It was torturous. I'm fine. I'm not that stubborn. Look, isn't our child fine in my belly? I even did an ultrasound at the OB-GYN department today. The baby is very healthy. His heartbeat is very strong. Do you think you're pregnant with Neza? Chin Chu was speechless. So you asked the same thing. You two are really telepathic. Stop smiling at me. Don't think that you can get away with this. What? If you want to hit me, come on. Huamin walked up to Chin Chu arrogantly. He knew that Mr. Chin wouldn't let him go, so he did something so heart-wrenching. I'll put it on your tap first. When the baby is born, you'll see how I'll deal with you. Mr. Chin loved her deeply, but there was nothing he could do about it. You should be content, honey. I wasn't going to tell you. If you didn't insist on doing it, I really wouldn't have told you so early, Huamin said confidently. Don't piss me off. I'm about to die from anger. Mr. Chin put his hands on his hips and took a deep breath. To be honest, he wanted to hang Huamin up and give him a good beating, but at the same time she couldn't bear to. All right, let's stop messing around. I'm a little tired. Let's go to bed and rest. After Huamin became pregnant, she was not only sleepy but also tired easily. But you didn't eat anything at night. I'm not hungry. But the baby is hungry. Wait here, I'll go make you a bowl of noodles. After Chin Chu spoke, he turned around and went downstairs. His execution skills were unparalleled. However, it was a blessing to have a husband like this. After Huamin finished eating the love ramen, she rubbed her round belly and leaned on Mr. Chin's shoulder. Honey. Yeah. How do you feel about being a father again? I'm happy and excited. Why? Because last time when you were pregnant, something happened to me and I couldn't be with you for the entire pregnancy. This has always been my biggest regret and I've always wanted to make it up to you. This time I can't miss it no matter what. I'm going to take care of you for the entire pregnancy until the baby is born. Chin Chu gently stroked Huamin's hair. Then, do you want it to be a boy or a girl? Huamin looked up and asked with a smile. Chapter 2796. I mean, both are fine. I don't know about that. Why not? Because they're both our children. It doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl, Chin Chu thought happily. A new life was about to join their happy family. I thought you'd want a boy since we have 2 daughters. I'll leave it to fate. I won't force it. Although a boy would be great, I'd like a girl too. Chin Chu didn't care about gender because he didn't have the feudal mindset of favoring boys over girls. Plus, his twin daughters had already brought him a lot of joy. It was said that daughters were the lovers of fathers in their previous lives. Fathers loved their daughters dearly and spoiled them to the heavens. Hey, our Mr. Chin is always so calm. What about you? Do you like boys or girls? Boys, Huamin answered without hesitation. Why? Chin Chu looked at Huamin in surprise. Because when I think of a 1.8-meter tall handsome man standing next to me 20 years later, I feel so proud. At that time when I take my daughters out shopping, I can let my son carry everything we buy, haha. You don't want a son. You want a laborer. Chin Chu laughed. Boys have more responsibility. Although he's young, he can protect his mom and sisters. He can also play soccer with his dad. How nice would that be? Sounds good. Chin Chu hugged Huamin and thought gently. Alright, I went to see Wei Dong and the others tonight. Then Huamin briefly told Chin Chu what happened. Don't talk to those people in the future. They're always petty. Is someone jealous because I helped Wei Dong? Him. He doesn't deserve to make me jealous. In this world, other than Suyu, no one can make me jealous. Mr. Chin was telling the truth. Well, you make it sound like you and Lord Su appreciate each other. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Suyu is a good opponent and a good friend, Chin Chu commented. That's true. Suyu has always been a straightforward person. Other than being a little hot-tempered, bossy and impulsive, there's nothing wrong with him, Huamin commented. Meanwhile, at Suyu's mansion, achoo. He sneezed twice in a row. It's late. Who's missing me? Suyu held a beer. Nia Lingxian, Tang Tees was a big talker. Get out. To be honest, you don't have a partner now anyway. Instead of using your left and right hands to settle it, why don't you find a clean girl? You're so horny. You're always thinking about those dirty things. She's my employee and she's a good person. He's hardworking. I don't want to ruin her life. Ruin her? Maybe it'll be a love story. Don't you know that marriage is a trend nowadays? I think you should just marry her, Tang Chuan said. Your ideas are so bad that even dogs don't like them. Suyu glared at Tang Chuan. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Maybe she'll give birth to a son for you. Then you'll be perfect. No thanks. Don't think about me. If you want to have a child, you can have one with Qin Ning. I'm not in a hurry, Siyu said proudly. By the way, people in our circle are saying that the bitch Hui Yanyan is looking for lawyers to defend her mother. What are you going to do about this? Tang Chuan suddenly changed the topic. Chapter 2797. I won't comment on this. Siyu was surprisingly calm. That's not like you. Tang Chuan was surprised. What do I look like? Siyu smiled faintly. Although Hui Yanyan wasn't the mastermind behind the kidnapping, she definitely had something to do with it. Ning said that the reason why the twins were kidnapped so easily was because Shinjiani used Hui Yanyan's daughter as bait. Also, Hui Yanyan knew about it and went to the original kidnapping location. If Hui Yanyan was afraid of He Yongjun and didn't dare to tell He Yongjun about it, then that's fine. But after she came back, she didn't say a word. In the end, Shin Mingxi got the information from Hui Yanyan's daughter and told you. So? Siyu looked at Tang Chuan and continued to ask. So, don't you think Hui Yanyan is a bitch? Tang Chuan asked with disdain. I do. So, how are you going to deal with her? That depends on what Qin Chu does. Now that the twins are back safely, Hui Yanyan's appeal and Mrs. Zhang's transfer to GK are none of my business. These are Mion's family matters. Qin Chu knows how to protect his wife and kids better than I do. Plus, he won't be any gentler than I am, Siyu thought. Wow, when did our Lord Su become so humble? Tang Chuan was a little surprised. I'm not being humble. I still say that you have to know your place, understand? Alright, you win. Let's wait for a good show. Let's see how my brother-in-law deals with those bitches. Brother-in-law? Are you married? Don't you feel embarrassed calling me that? Siyu laughed while holding a beer. I don't think so. She's calling me Ning Ning's name so righteously. Because Ning Ning and I will definitely get married, Tang Chuan said confidently. Let's deal with your difficult father-in-law first. Tisk. Why do you have to bring it up? Come, let's not talk about this. Let's drink. Tang Chuan didn't want to talk about Qin Ning's father's attitude, so he changed the topic. With the twins back, Siyu felt much more at ease. During the weekend, Huamin brought the twins to the Su family's house for dinner. They had a great time there. Whenever this happened, Lady Su would reminisce about her son's marriage. You, go ahead, Mom. I heard that there's a female artist in your company who has a good impression of you. Lady Su asked carefully. Tell me, did you see it in an entertainment magazine or did you go to my company and ask the employees for gossip? Siyu was speechless. That's none of your business. I just want to say that I'm not as good as the girl named Nye Lingxian. She's a good and clean person. Although female artists don't meet the standards of our daughter-in-law, right? But, if you like her, we won't stop you. Seeing her son getting older day by day, Lady Su couldn't stay calm anymore. Her desire to have a grandson grew stronger. There's no chance between her and me. Don't worry about it. Siyu rejected her directly. In fact, when I had dinner with Mrs. Wei last time, she vaguely mentioned Wei Ying to me. That girl has a hard life. Although she's divorced, you guys grew up together and know each other well. You and Wei Liao are brothers, so I'm thinking. Before Lady Su could finish her words, Siyu was about to explode and stood up abruptly. Chapter 2798. Mom, are you serious? Has your son fallen so low that he has to marry a divorced woman? No, I didn't mean that. Mrs. Wei came to ask me about it. Besides, don't be so unfriendly to divorced women, okay? What's wrong with divorce? She didn't cross any moral line. Wei Ying has a bad temper, but she's a good kid. Plus, to be blunt, if Mion got divorced, you wouldn't despise her and would happily raise her 2 kids, right? Mrs. Su said slowly. Mom, it's different. How is it different? Because she's Mion, so I'll accept her. You mean as long as it's not Huamin, you'll turn a blind eye to anyone else? Lady Su was a bit angry. No, it's just that Wei Ying isn't good enough. First, her ex-husband is Shin Mingxi. He's been my buddy since we were kids. What's the big deal? Picking up a woman his buddy doesn't want? He'll be laughed at in his circle. Second, Wei Ying's temper isn't bad. She's very irritable. Even her brother can't stand her, let alone me. Third, I'll make my own decisions. Mom, don't worry about me, okay? If you really want grandchildren, that's easy. I'll get some sperm and find a few surrogate mothers for artificial insemination. As for grandchildren, I'll give birth to as many as you want. Just don't bother me. Then Suyu stood up and left. Lady Su had always been as gentle as water, but this time she was so angry at her son that her liver hurt. As the saying goes, when a son grows up he can't listen to his mother anymore. Suyu wasn't as obedient as he was when he was young. Especially when it came to marriage, he wouldn't listen to anything. GK headquarters, Sister Bella, I'm new as President Chin's assistant and don't know a lot of things yet. Please take care of me in the future. Zhang Manlin ran into Bella with a folder in her arms. You're too kind. Miss Zhang has always been very resourceful. I wouldn't dare to take care of someone that President Qin personally appointed. Bella hated Zhang Manlin. Sister Bella, I know you've misunderstood me before, but I'll slowly prove to you that I'm not just a pretty face. I'll do well. Let's talk about it after you make some achievements. No, I should say let's talk about it after you've stabilized your position. Bella said coldly and brushed past him. Those who didn't know what was going on only knew that Zhang Manlin was promoted because of her contribution in saving the children. He had no idea what Qin Chu Huamin and the twins were really up to. Chairman Qin, this is the information I've compiled. Please take a look. Zhang Manlin was wearing a blue business suit and exquisite makeup. She tried her best to look like a professional. Leave it here. President Qin, are you free tonight? Zhang Manlin stuttered. Go ahead. Oh, here's the thing. I asked my friend to buy 2 tickets to a snooker game. I heard that you really like snooker, so I wanted to go with you. I'm not free. I'm going to the skating rink with my daughter tonight. I see. Okay, maybe next time. Zhang Manlin was slightly disappointed. By the way, do you know that guy called Zhang Shubao? Qin Chu suddenly asked. No, I don't know him. Why? Zhang Manlin panicked. She remembered Zhang Shubao. He was the hillbilly who raped her in the cellar. He begged me to let him work as a security guard in the company. He said he wanted to be closer to you. Qin Chu looked at Zhang Manlin meaningfully. She was so scared that her face immediately changed. She was really worried that the country bumpkin would say something to Qin Chu. Chapter 2799. Is that so? But I don't know this person. Zhang Manlin pretended to be calm. You don't know who Zhang Shubao is? Qin Chu asked. I don't know. His name, I've never even heard of it. President Qin, are you mistaken? Did that person really say that he knew me? Is it just the same name? Zhang Manlin pretended to be innocent, which disgusted Qin Chu to no end, but he didn't expose her. Oh, I see. That's all, you can leave now. Hey, President Qin. Zhang Manlin smiled slightly and turned to leave the president's office. The moment she walked out, she gritted her teeth and cursed under her breath. This person is so shameless, he even went to President Qin. No, I can't let him continue talking nonsense. When GK Corporation got off work, Zhang Manlin purposely worked overtime until late, waiting for everyone to leave before she went to the security room. Among the kidnappers, only Zhang Shubao came to work as a security guard and was very close to her. She heard that some of the others went to the logistics company and some went to the real estate company. Looking for someone? At the door of the security room, a young security guard saw a woman loitering around the door and asked curiously, Is Zhang Shubao here? Zhang Shubao. Oh, the newcomer, he's not inside. He's patrolling on the 8th floor, you can go there directly to find him. Okay. Zhang Manlin patiently took the elevator to the 8th floor. Sure enough, she saw Zhang Shubao standing in the hallway in a security guard's uniform from afar. Why are you here? Seeing Zhang Manlin, Trickster was very happy, and there was even a hint of surprise in his voice. Let's talk over here. Zhang Manlin pointed at the corridor because she wanted to avoid all the surveillance. After all, this was Qin Chu's territory. She didn't know that Qin Chu knew about her private meeting with Zhang Shubao. Zhang Shubao was obedient and came over when Zhang Manlin called him. Why are you working here? Zhang Manlin looked at the man in front of her with disgust. Isn't this good? The company's treatment is good and I don't know how to do anything else. I'm different from you. I don't have a high education or culture. A rough person like me can only be a security guard. President Qin is really nice. He arranged for me to come in without saying anything. The salary and treatment are all very good. You told President Qin that you know me? Zhang Manlin asked the main point. Yeah. I just wanted to be closer to you, so when President Qin asked me what I wanted from my job, Zhang Manlin slapped Zhang Shubao's face, and the burning pain slowly spread through his body. Zhang Shubao was dumbfounded. You bumpkin, do you want to die? Didn't I tell you not to tell anyone about our relationship? Zhang Manlin roared. I didn't mention that. I just said that we know each other and that I like you. No, you can't say that you know me. You have money, a house and a car. Just go back to the countryside and live a peaceful life. The money is enough for you to spend for the rest of your life. Why do you have to stay here and haunt me? Zhang Manlin was so angry that her face turned pale. Zhang Shubao was stumped by Zhang Manlin's question. He didn't know what was wrong with him. Ever since he became rich, the villagers heard about it, and many people came to his house to act as matchmakers. However, he kept thinking about the woman he slept with in the cellar. It was as if he was possessed. What's wrong with you being with me? Zhang Shubao didn't understand what was wrong with him. Now that he was rich, why did this woman's attitude change so much? Chapter 2800. Follow you? Are you kidding me? Zhang Manlin laughed in disdain. I'm not bad-looking and I'm not much older than you. Although I'm not as educated as you, I have a house, a car, money and a stable job. Why wouldn't I be good enough for you? You're a country bumpkin. No matter how much money you have, you can't change the fact that you're a country bumpkin. You want to marry me? In your dreams. Let me tell you the truth. My goal is President Qin. Zhang Manlin didn't want to waste her breath on him, so she got straight to the point. What? President Qin? But President Qin has a wife. Trickster remembered that he saw President Qin's wife from afar when he was picking up the twins. She was a woman with a very strong aura. She seemed so distant that people didn't dare to get close to her. He didn't expect this woman to be thinking about a godlike figure like President Qin. So what if he has a wife? He can get a divorce even if he's married. From the very beginning, I came for President Qin. Otherwise, do you really think I'm willing to work as an assistant? You're too naive. No, I should say that you're too stupid. I was nice to you because I was in a dangerous situation and had no choice. If you dare to touch me again, I'll sue you for sexual harassment. Zhang Manlin was arrogant. Woman, your face really changes faster than the weather changes. Zhang Shubao sighed, feeling a little disappointed. This was the first time in his life that he fell in love with a woman, and this was the result. He didn't expect it. Cut the crap. I'm telling you. Get out of here. Don't see you in front of me or else. I won't go easy on you. Zhang Manlin, you're heartless. We were once husband and wife. Zhang Shubao was heartbroken and blocked Zhang Manlin's way. Get out of my way, take your dirty hands away. Don't touch me again. What husband and wife? I thought I was bitten by a dog. Disgusting country bumpkins like you make me want to vomit every time I see you. Zhang Manlin shoved Zhang Shubao away and walked away in her 5-inch heels. After returning to the city, Zhang Manlin seemed to have changed into a different person. Her attitude was so bad that it made people's hair stand on end. Zhang Shubao was furious, but he didn't want to leave the headquarters because he cherished the job President Qin gave him. At the door of the conference room of Shin Group, Hui Yanyan wore an orange gown and held a limited edition Chanel bag in her hand. Shin Mingxi had bought them for her. She didn't know how much they cost, but Shin Mingxi really loved her and was willing to spend anything on her. Miss Hua, why don't you wait in the lounge? We don't know when Mr. Shin's meeting will end, said the secretary. No need, I'll just wait here. Hui Yanyan had no choice but to beg Shin Mingxi one last time. Her mother's case was about to be heard. If he didn't do that, it would be even more difficult for him to change his mind in the future once he was convicted. As soon as Hui Yanyan finished speaking, Shin Mingxi walked out of the conference room, followed by the company's executives. Mingxi. Hui Yanyan hurried up and hugged his arm. I'm in a meeting. Shin Mingxi's attitude was neither cold nor warm. Ever since Hui Yanyan's mother's accident, their relationship gradually fell apart. Shin Mingxi even didn't come back to sleep twice. He went straight to the Shin mansion. Mingxi, just give me 5 minutes. I'm really in a hurry, Hui Yanyan begged. Please. Mingxi. Hui Yanyan kept begging. Chapter 2801. Shin Mingxi looked down at his watch and said, Okay, 5 minutes. Yang and I really have work to do. I know. I won't take up too much of your time. Then Shin Mingxi and Hui Yanyan walked straight to the lounge. The female secretary quickly poured 2 cups of coffee for them and brought them in. Then she closed the door. Tell me what's the matter. Shin Mingxi flipped through the documents in his hands without looking up. Mingxi, my mom's case is about to start, Hui Yanyan said with a sobbing tone. I told you I can't do anything about your mom. I know. I don't want to drag you down, so I thought of a way. What way? Shin Mingxi put down the documents in his hands and looked up at Hui Yanyan curiously. At this moment Hui Yanyan took out a book from her bag. It was a book written by the famous monk, Master Xingyun. It was called Willing. What's the meaning of this? Shin Mingxi didn't understand. He held the book and asked Hui Yanyan. Turn to page 129, Hui Yanyan reminded him. Shin Mingxi flipped through the pages according to Hui Yanyan's instructions. Sure enough, page 129 was a little different. The pages were a little yellowed, but you wouldn't notice it if you didn't look closely. 129 is my mom's birthday symbol. She'll definitely understand what I mean. I still don't understand what you're trying to do. Mingxi, you have a lot of connections. Can you help me find a way to get this book in and give it to my mom? Give it to your mom to read Buddhist scriptures and enlighten her? Shin Mingxi didn't understand. No, this book. I did something to it. It's to save my mom, Hui Yanyan said in a small voice. Shin Mingxi didn't say anything as Hui Yanyan continued. I found a doctor I'm close with and he got me a type of infectious bacteria. I plan to smear it on page 129. When my mom reads it, she'll be infected and her body will start to show signs of abnormality. Then we'll have enough reason to apply for medical parole. Hui Yanyan, you're crazy. Shin Mingxi glanced coldly at Hui Yanyan's face. That's a perfect plan. People used to use it in prison. Mingxi, as long as you help me get this book in, I won't help you, Shin Mingxi refused. Why? Hui Yanyan was annoyed. First of all, your mom did something wrong so she has to pay the price. Second of all, Qin Chu and Su Yu aren't idiots. Do you know how many of their spies are in prison? If they find out I'm dead meat. In the end you're just afraid of death. Huh? Hui Yanyan looked at Shin Mingxi with disdain. Don't talk like you're a great person who's not afraid of death. If you're not afraid of death, why didn't you kidnap the twins with your mom? Yanyan, stop messing around, okay? I won't get involved in this. Then Shin Mingxi got up to leave. Shin Mingxi, if you don't help me, I'll break up with you. We'll be finished. I'm serious. Don't regret it. Seeing Shin Mingxi's determined attitude, Hui Yanyan was ready to use her ultimate move and break up with him. You're using the fact that I like you as a bargaining chip to threaten me. Hui Yanyan, how can you be so disgusting? Shin Mingxi turned his head and sneered. I'm asking you, are you going to help me or not? Hui Yanyan sounded determined, as if she wanted to force Shin Mingxi to compromise. Chapter 2802. I won't. Then let's break up, Hui Yanyan said in a fit of pique. Let's break up then. It's up to you. I'm tired. Shin Mingxi sighed and walked out the door. Hui Yanyan was so angry that she knocked over everything in the lounge, making a loud noise. Why did this happen? Shin Mingxi rejected Hui Yanyan again, making her feel worthless and that he didn't love her anymore. However, she didn't think about how to fix their relationship. Instead, she began to think of another way. In the cafe, Hui Yanyan took out a brown envelope with a thick stack of cash inside. Here's the money. Where's the stuff I want? It's all here. The man handed her a USB flash drive. Is there only one video? Hui Yanyan asked. There are 3 videos. The first one is the conversation between Wei Dong and those people. It's all about Huamin. The second one is when Huamin escorted Wei Dong out of the police station. I purposely chose the angle to make them look very intimate. The third one is when Huamin found someone to settle the matter. Although Huamin didn't appear, he mentioned it in the conversation. Okay. Hui Yanyan nodded in satisfaction. I don't understand. Didn't you say that your relationship has improved? Why are you fighting again? Han Su laughed gloatingly. Just do what you're paid to do. It won't do you any good to ask too many questions, Huamin said coldly. Yes. I know. Aren't you the same? You're their class president? But didn't you do the same thing? Let's not be the pot calling the kettle black. Hui Yanyan glanced at Han Su. It's not all about money. 30,000 yuan isn't enough to last me a lifetime. I'm just jealous. I'm so jealous of Wei Dong. How could someone like him get Huamin's help? But I can't. I don't understand how I'm worse than Wei Dong. In the past, Wei Dong was richer than me, but now that he's bankrupt and no one cares about him, Huamin is willing to lend him 5 million yuan. Indeed, this matter made Han Su feel extremely unbalanced. In fact, he also had a crush on Huamin, but because he was very shrewd, no one had seen through his feelings for all these years. He was the one who organized every gathering. In fact, he had been looking for an opportunity to spend time alone with Huamin. However, the first gathering gave Qin Chu and Huamin a chance to get back together, which made him feel bitter. Later on, he even tried to drive a wedge between Wei Dong and Huamin. However, in the end, when Wei Dong was at his most difficult, Huamin was still willing to help him. Huamin, on the other hand, had always been very distant from him. Therefore, when Hui Yanyan came to him, he agreed to help her without hesitation. He even recorded these videos for her. Haha, jealousy and hate, I understand. I used to be like that too. Okay, you should go now, don't let anyone see us together. After speaking, Hui Yanyan took the USB drive and left. Then she cut a small portion of the video and saved it on her phone. At noon, Huamin had just finished eating in the hospital cafeteria when he received a message from Hui Yanyan. Mian, is it convenient for us to meet? It's not convenient. Huamin rejected her immediately. Then take a look at this first. Then Hui Yanyan sent the screenshot to Huamin. It was the explicit conversation between Wei Dong and a few men. Hey Wei Dong, is it because you have a big penis? Is that why Huamin has been looking for you? He can't live without you. You're really something hot. After watching this video, Huamin was furious. Chapter 2803. What do you want? Huamin sent a message to Hui Yanyan. I just want to see you. I have something to tell you in person. I'm at the entrance of your hospital. Good. Come up. Huamin suppressed the anger in his heart and finally agreed to see Hui Yanyan. Instead of meeting her in the office, Huamin chose to meet her in a sparsely populated pavilion behind the hospital. Tell me, what do you want? Huamin crossed his arms in front of his chest. Wearing a white lab coat and a pair of black-rimmed glasses, he looked very distant. She knew that she and Hui Yanyan could no longer maintain their previous relationship. She didn't know when it started. Maybe it was after Huasi died. Maybe it was after she found out that she was the one who came between Shin Mingxi and Wei Ying's marriage. Or maybe it was after her child was kidnapped by Huasi Qian and she put on a pitiful act to force Hua Mian to save him. Mian, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for using such an extreme method to meet you. But I know that if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have been able to see you, Hui Yanyan said pitifully. If I stab you and then tell you that I'm sorry, will you accept it? Hu Mian asked. Hui Yanyan, so don't apologize to me. After you chose to meet me in this way, you don't even have the right to apologize. Huamin looked coldly at Hui Yanyan. Mian, the truth is I have my own difficulties. Okay. If you want to put on an act, stop it. I don't have time to watch. After all, no matter how good you are at acting, you can't fool me. Tell me what you want. Huamin waved his hand and interrupted Hui Yanyan before she could finish her sentence. Having grown up with Hui Yanyan, Huamin knew better than anyone else what kind of person she was. How should he put it? Hui Yanyan wasn't a bad person, but she had been deeply influenced by her mother all these years, so she couldn't be a kind person anymore. Because every time she faced a choice in her heart, the path she chose in the end was wrong. In the end, it caused him to walk further and further down the road of courting death. Okay, since you're so stubborn, I won't beat around the bush. Mian, please show mercy to my mother. Haha, why should I? Huamin sneered. You know He Yongjun is the mastermind. He's dead. My mom is just an accomplice. Without your mother, would He Yongjun have kidnapped my daughter? Are you kidding me? Huamin was so angry that his heart trembled when he thought of this. But He Yongjun did all the despicable things. He was beaten to death by Qin Chu. Huiyan, and I'm warning you. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. You weren't there at the time, so don't spread rumors. He Yongjun killed himself because he attacked my husband. My husband was defending himself, so don't say that he was beaten to death by my husband. That's obviously out of context. Huamin was furious. Okay, let's not talk about this for now. My mother is old. If she's sentenced to life or decades, then her life is over. No matter who it is, they have to be tried for violating the law. It's useless to talk to me. You should go beg the judge. Oh, I know. You're very powerful now and you can find a way to get my mother off the hook. Mion, if you're willing to let her go, Then I promise I'll let her leave the country and never come back. She'll never appear in front of you again, okay? Hui Yanyan tried to move Huamin and soften his heart. Chapter 2804. That's impossible. Don't waste your time. Don't you care about our friendship at all? There's no friendship between us. The only time I owe you is when you saved my daughter. Don't forget who helped you get her back from Huasiqian. I know. What I mean is, after all, our surnames are Hua. Ha. It's useless to play the emotional card with me. Huamin sneered as he watched Hui Yanyan try her best to convince him. Mian, don't force me. Whoa. You sound like you have something else up your sleeve. Huamin glared at Hui Yanyan. Mian, you know that I don't want to do anything to harm you. What? Did Shin Mingxi reject you? So you're at your wit's end and came to me. Huamin could tell that Hui Yanyan was at her wit's end. She had made things very clear last time. If she had any sense of shame, she wouldn't have come to him again. Mian, did you see the video just now? Hui Yanyan changed the topic. I did. So what? I have 2 more, they're about you and Wei Dong. What a joke. There's nothing between me and Wei Dong. Will Qin Chu believe you? Hui Yanyan laughed. What do you mean? Are you threatening me? Huamin stopped smiling and looked at Hui Yanyan calmly. I don't know what's going on between you and Wei Dong, but from these 3 videos I can tell that you've done a lot for him. Mian, I don't want to get involved in your personal affairs. I have no other choice. Qin Chu and Su Yu both want my mom dead. They love you dearly and will do anything for you if you say the word. I'm not as lucky as you. Shin Mingxi won't offend the rich and powerful because of me, so I had to do this. If Qin Chu sees these videos, the consequences will be very interesting. So? Huamin looked at Hui Yanyan and asked. So why don't you agree to my request? I'm not asking you to let my mom go. I'm only asking you to ask the judge to give her a lighter sentence and let her stay in prison for 3 to 5 years. After that, I'll send her abroad. Isn't that a good thing? She'll be punished and still be alive. It's a good thing for both of us. Yeah, that's a good idea. Huamin lowered his head and thought about it. So do you agree? Hui Yanyan was happy to hear Huamin's words. She thought that Huamin had agreed, so she was happy. But your mom's crimes are too horrible. How can 3 to 5 years be enough? I think an evil woman like her should stay in prison for the rest of her life. You? Hearing Huamin's words, Hui Yanyan's expression changed again. I used to think that you're the smarter one among the 3 of you. But now I realize that you don't have a high EQ. If I were you, I'd live a quiet life with Shin Mingxi and have kids. You wouldn't do something like this, Huamin warned. That's because she's not your mom. That's why you're being sarcastic. Hui Yanyan yelled at Huamin emotionally. You're wrong. If she were my mom, I wouldn't forgive her if she did something that goes against her morals and conscience. In this world, everyone has to be responsible for their own actions. You make it sound so righteous. I don't like how hypocritical you are, Hui Yanyan rebuked Huamin. You know, if you didn't come to me today, I would have asked the judge to sentence her to life imprisonment and let her repent for the rest of her life. But now I've changed my mind, Huamin said. What do you want? Hui Yanyan had a bad feeling. She didn't know what Huamin could do. Chapter 2805. Xinjiani, she's dead meat, Huamin said word by word. Hui Yanyan's expression changed drastically when she heard this. Huamin, you? Huamin hate being threatened the most. Hui Yanyan, don't think that I don't know that you bribed Han Su. If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. Your little tricks are nothing to me. Do you think my husband will believe that little video of yours? Then Huamin turned around and walked away. After a few steps, she turned around and emphasized, so, even if your mom dies, you're indirectly responsible for it. Just wait for her to die. Hui Yanyan's face was as white as a sheet. Huamin, you're such a vicious woman. Hui Yanyan leaned against the wall of the hospital corridor, exhausted. She thought that Huamin was afraid that the video would affect her relationship with Qin Chu, so she would let her off the hook no matter what. She didn't think that it would backfire. The feeling in her heart was indescribable. When she returned to her office, Mr. Qin happened to send her a video call. Hello, Mr. Qin. What are you doing? Qin Chu sat in his office and asked gently. I just came back from negotiating with that bitch. Hui Yanyan. Qin Chu guessed. Do you have to be so smart? Huamin was impressed. She begged you for mercy? Chu asked. Yeah, but it wasn't really a plea. She threatened me. Then Min told him about how Hui Yanyan held the video and how she helped Wei Dong out that day. So this time I'm really angry. Xinjiani has to die. She's a disaster. You're finally enlightened. Chu chuckled in a low voice. Honey, am I being vicious? After all, I'm pregnant with our second child. Shouldn't I do some good for the baby? Min reached out and touched his belly. Of course not. People like Xinjiani are a threat. She only has hatred in her eyes. Not only that, but she also ruined Hui Yanyan and Hui Si's lives. You're doing the right thing. Even if you agree to let her go, I won't. Don't forget how much our daughters suffered. Hu Mian nodded. She remembered how the twins told her about their kidnapping. When Pudding said that Little Bean's head was bleeding, tears welled up in Hu Mian's eyes. Chu also felt as if someone was squeezing his heart. Mercy for your enemies was cruelty to yourself. A woman without conscience like Xinjiani was definitely not worthy of anyone's sympathy. But Hu Mian, I have to warn you about something. Mr. Qin changed the topic. Go ahead, Mr. Qin. Hu Min pursed his lips and smiled. Can you stop hanging out with Wei Dong from now on? Whoa. Is someone jealous? I'm not jealous. I just think that his IQ is too low. If you hang out with him too much, it'll affect your IQ, Mr. Qin said in a righteous tone. Hu Min, okay. You win. That's a perfect excuse. Hu Min smiled. Have you eaten? Yes. Hu Min nodded obediently. Remember to eat more. Don't starve. Chu reminded gently. Humph. You're not worried about me starving. You're worried about your kids, right? Hu Min rolled his eyes. Chapter 2806. You make it sound like it's not your child. Mr. Qin was speechless. Huh. Hu Min laughed heartily. By the way, don't tell anyone that you're pregnant. Don't tell mom and dad either. Chu suddenly remembered this. I know. You're afraid that Sayu's spy will tell Hu Xiqian and I'll have cash, right? Yes. Chu nodded. You've been keeping Kaiyue around because you want her to give Hu Xiqian false information at a critical moment, right? Smart. That's my plan. Hu Xiqian and Yan Ruoshi's wedding is approaching. I have a feeling that this wedding is unusual. Chu's expression was serious. Unusual in what way? I don't know. I have a feeling that something is going to happen. Anyway, it's very strange. Chu's intuition had always been accurate. The battle between him and Hu Xiqian was imminent. Yan Ruoshi had been with Hu Xiqian for years and should have gotten married a long time ago. It shouldn't have dragged on until now. Therefore, Chu had a feeling that this might be Hu Xiqian's scheme. He seemed to want to use the wedding to hide something. Honey, you have to be careful. Hu Min also began to worry. I'll be fine. But you have to be careful. Hu Xiqian's target has always been you, Chu reminded her. Yes, I will. I've sent more people to protect you secretly. You must be careful when you go to work. Don't worry. I have tranquilizer needles with me. I won't forget them. Hu Min increasingly felt that as long as Hu Xiqian and Ian were alive, there would be no peace. Therefore, she began to carry tranquilizer needles with her. But she also knew that they were useless against those pitch-black pistols and even bombs. Every time this happened, she would be especially envious of Yen. She had superhuman combat strength and could solve everything by herself. Unlike her, who always had to be rescued, Hu Group headquarters boss, its master Ian. Aching quietly came over with his phone. Upon hearing Ian's call, Hu Xiqian felt a headache coming on. But he still had to accept it. My lord. Hu Xiqian pretended to be very respectful. The date is almost here. Have you found the person I'm looking for? I'm still looking, Hu Xiqian replied in a low voice. I knew it. That's why I didn't count on you. I'll send my men to investigate later. As for you, Mr. Ian, please listen to me. I've been held up by something recently. I'm getting married. Oh? You're getting married? Ian looked a little surprised. Yes. I'm getting married to my girlfriend, so I've been busy with that matter. Lord, please give me a few days. After I get married, I'll do my best to investigate this matter. If I can't find anything by then, I'll be at your mercy. Does Nalo know you're getting married? Master Nalo doesn't know yet. Haha, that brother of mine loves you so much. If he knows you're getting married, how sad would he be? Ian laughed wildly. Beside the phone, Huasiqian suppressed his anger. His expression was very dark. Mr. Ian, please give me a few days. How many days do you want? 1 week. Give me 1 more week. I'll get it done for sure, Huasiqian vowed. Well, is the woman you're getting married to your sister Mian Mian? Ian suddenly asked. Chapter 2807. No, that's not it. Huasiqian immediately denied it. For some reason, every time Ian mentioned Huamian's name he would feel scared. That's strange. Don't you love that little sister of yours the most? Ian asked. I'm marrying the mayor's daughter, Huasiqian explained. Oh, so it's a combination of power. Not bad, it suits your personality, Ian praised. Does that mean you agree, sir? Sure, I'll give you 1 more week. In Ian's opinion, 1 more week wasn't a big deal. He didn't know that Huasiqian could do a lot of things in 1 week. Only he knew how long he had been waiting for this game of chess. Thank you for your generosity, sir. Huasiqian finally let out a sigh of relief. After hanging up, Huasiqian lowered his head and pondered in silence. Boss, about the wedding? Aching asked carefully. Everything will go according to plan, okay? Aching nodded and turned to leave. GK headquarters, every time Jishin saw this woman who looked so much like his sister he felt disgusted. He knew that it was because she saved the twins that he made an exception and allowed her to come to work. She even replaced Assistant Yang's previous position, which made him very unhappy. Many people in the company spread rumors that Zhang Manlin was President Qin's confidant. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been given the important position of President Qin's assistant out of nowhere. Bella and Jishin both felt very uncomfortable, but there was nothing they could do. Hi, Director Jing. After work, Zhang Manlin greeted Jishin with a smile. However, Jishin didn't even look at her and walked past her, ignoring her existence. Zhang Manlin didn't feel embarrassed at all. Instead, she smiled. Then she carried her newly bought MK handbag and walked in her high heels, swaying her but in a flirtatious manner. Not far away, the female employees whispered to each other. I really don't understand why President Qin likes this style. That's right. She even said that she looks like a young lady. I really don't know how. Look at her face, it's so unnatural. And her eyes are obviously seductive like a fox's. Also, when she walks, her butt is swaying. This kind of woman is obviously not easy to deal with. I think so too. I heard that Sister Bella and Director Jing hate her a lot. They never talk to her, but she's so shameless. She's always trying to be nice to them. Isn't it? Seriously, this kind of woman is really shameless. As a security guard, Zhang Shubao had an indescribable feeling in his heart when he heard this. He wanted to protect Zhang Manlin, but at the same time he felt that he shouldn't talk too much. After all, Zhang Manlin said that she didn't want others to know about their relationship. If she didn't say anything, she would feel uncomfortable listening to everyone badmouthing her. When Zhang Manlin walked out, Zhang Shubao walked up to her and was about to say hello when he saw Zhang Manlin's murderous glare. He immediately backed away. For the convenience of going to work, Zhang Manlin didn't live in her old house. Instead, she moved to GK's female dorm. It was rare for her to get off work early today. She planned to buy some nice clothes so that she could wear them to work for President Qin. However, in a corner of a shopping mall, Zhang Manlin was surrounded by people. Zhang, you're living a happy life now, aren't you? What's wrong? Does it feel good to betray your boss? The man's hand gripped Zhang Manlin's neck tightly. Brother Qing. Zhang Manlin immediately felt guilty when she saw Huasiqian's trusted subordinate, Qing. Chapter 2808. Don't call me that so intimately. I'm not your big brother Qing. I don't have a heartless sister like you. Qing was very loyal to Huasiqian. When he found out that Zhang Manlin went against Huasiqian's wishes and released the twins, Qing immediately followed Huasiqian's lead. Qing was furious when he learned that Huamian was trying to suck up to Qin Chu and even became Qin Chu's personal assistant. His first thought was that his boss was betrayed by that bitch Zhang Manlin, so he had been looking for a chance to teach her a lesson. Big brother Qing, listen to me. Shut up. I'm asking you, who picked you up from the poor mountains and did plastic surgery for you? I did plastic surgery for you. Don't forget what you looked like back then. Yes, I know. I can't forget what Big Brother Qian did for me, Zhang Manlin quickly explained. Shut up. Don't call him Big Brother Qian. You're insulting his character. How did a bitch like you live until today? Does it feel good to betray your master for glory? Qing grabbed Zhang Manlin's hair tightly and slapped her hard. Zhang Manlin's face immediately swelled up. Big Brother Qing, listen to me. I'm not betraying. Before Zhang Manlin could finish her sentence, she saw two men in black suits running over. They pulled Qing away and punched him. Luckily, Qing had some skills and dodged quickly. Then he looked at the two men cautiously. Miss Zhang, are you okay? We were sent by President Qin to protect you in secret. The two bodyguards hurried over to help Zhang Manlin up. Zhang Manlin's face turned pale. She couldn't speak. I knew it. You said you didn't betray Big Brother. Just you wait, bitch Zhang. Qing was furious. He pointed at Zhang Manlin and cursed before leaving. Hu Mansion, Big Brother, I'm telling the truth. That bitch Zhang really betrayed you. Plus, Qin Chu arranged bodyguards to protect her secretly. She's precious right now, Qing said. Hu Xiqian just drank his tea quietly without saying a word. It seems like Qin Chu treats her differently. She originally looked like Miss Hua, and this time she disobeyed your orders to save the twins and pretended to be a good person. So she's going to have a meteoric rise. Qin Chu won't like her. The reason why he's treating her this way is probably because she saved his child, Hu Xiqian analyzed. Hu Xiqian also thought that Zhang Manlin saved the child, but he felt uncomfortable. His men had been waiting in Qinghe town for so long, but in the end there was nothing. No matter what, it's a fact that she betrayed us. Boss, we can't let this woman live. Hu Xiqian remained silent. Boss, say something. Just say the word and I'll tear her to shreds. Qing said fiercely. Hu Xiqian smiled. Don't do that. It would be a pity to tear him into pieces. I've been working on this for 5 years. Boss, you mean, how can a woman who betrayed me die so easily? Hu Xiqian's lips curled up strangely. In a high-end club in Sea City, a group of rich second-generation heirs were drinking. Tang Chuan and Shin Mingxi were among them. Chuan, long time no see. Let's have a drink. Shin Mingxi was at a rich second-generation heir's birthday party. He didn't expect to run into Tang Chuan here, so to avoid awkwardness he took the initiative to greet him with a glass of wine. I heard that Hui Yanyan is contacting a lawyer. She's going to appeal for her mother. What do you think, Brother Shin? Tang Chuan smiled with a glass of wine in his hand. Chapter 2809. I won't interfere in Yanyan's affairs. Shin Mingxi expressed his opinion directly. Oh, didn't you say that you doted on Hui Yanyan a lot? You're even willing to fall out with your family for her? Tang Chuan asked deliberately. In other matters, yes, I dote on her. But not this. Chuan, you and I have known each other for many years. You should know that even if I'm muddle-headed, I'm still a righteous person. I won't help Hui Yanyan clear her vicious mother's name just because I like her. Ah, that's good. I was thinking that if you interfered in this matter, you might become the enemy of Qin Chu and Lord Su. I know. Shin Mingxi nodded. Of course he knew what Tang Chuan meant. Ever since Shin Mingxi broke up with Su Yu, even Tang Chuan rarely talked to him. Even if they met on occasions, they wouldn't drink together. It was rare that Tang Chuan was in the mood to talk to him about these things. It was also because he confessed to Su Yu immediately when the twins went missing. After all, he had made some contributions. You and Lord Su have reconciled, right? Tang Chuan asked. I'm not sure. Lord Su seems to be very busy recently. He doesn't have time to talk about these things. Shin Mingxi looked a little embarrassed. That's easy. Wait, I'll call him and ask. Then Tang Chuan took out his phone and dialed Su Yu's number. Of all people, he even put it on speaker mode. Lord Su, what? Su Yu had always been rude to Tang Chuan. Ha, come out for a drink. Where? Su Yu seemed to be in a good mood. In Jinzun. Many of my brothers are here. Isn't it Yu's birthday? Alright, young Master Shin is here too. Tang Chuan said deliberately. At this moment, the originally lively private room suddenly quieted down. Everyone looked over as if wanting to hear Su Yu's answer. People in this circle loved gossip the most. Back then, when Su Yu and Shin Mingxi had a falling out, this matter had been circulating in the upper-class society for a long time. However, since then everyone had learned a lesson. They could make any kind of joke in front of Su Yu except for Huamin. Shin Mingxi nervously held the wine glass and didn't dare to speak. Because Tang Chuan was on speakerphone, everyone could hear whatever Su Yu said. If they did not give him face or said something unpleasant, how awkward would it be for him? After 3 seconds of silence, Suyu replied, "Wait for me. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Upon hearing this, Shin Mingshi heaved a sigh of relief. Tang Chuan smiled and said, "Okay, I'll wait for you." At this moment, the other rich second-generation heirs began to flatter. "Young Master Tang and young Master Shin are so influential. You were able to invite Lord Su." "Yeah, you're so popular today." "Ha, I'm so honored that Lord Su is here. Waiter, give us 2 more royal salutes." The young man named you was also very happy. The group of people fooled around like this. It was the first time Suyu sat together for a drink with Shin Mingshi since that time. The two of them had reconciled. At this moment, Hui Yanyan was still busy with her mother's matter. "Miss Hua, Lawyer Wang has been waiting for you inside for a long time. Please go in." The assistant of the law firm nodded and bowed to Hui Yanyan with a smile. Hui Yanyan didn't look very good. She hesitated for a moment and walked in. Chapter 28:10. "Oh, you must be Miss Hui Yanyan, right? You're really pretty in person." He was an old man who looked to be in his 50s. His face was full of smiles and his hair was loose. He looked disgusting. "Hello, Mr. Wang. You can call me Hui Yanyan." "Come on, Miss Hua. Have a seat." The old man was very enthusiastic. Just then, the male assistant came in with 2 cups of coffee. "Come on, Miss Hua. Please have some coffee." "No, it's okay. I'll make it short. Mr. Wang, I'm here today to talk about my mother's case. What do you think our chances of winning are?" Hui Yanyan was impatient. She leaned against the back of the sofa and said in an overbearing tone, "Oh, there's no rush. Let's talk about it slowly. I've seen your mother's case. It's a case that the whole city knows about. My mother's case is about to go to trial. I'm very anxious. Can you just tell me how confident you are?" Hui Yanyan asked. "Miss Hua, what kind of effect are you looking for?" The old man smiled as he looked Hui Yanyan up and down. She was wearing a rose-pink dress suit. The skirt was a little short and her white legs were exposed. It made people's imaginations run wild. "Of course, I want my mother to be acquitted." "Acquitted? Ah, Miss Hua, you're joking. You know that's impossible. Your mother's case is a kidnapping. She was caught red-handed and the evidence is solid. The plot is very bad. What do you think we can do?" Hui Yanyan crossed her arms and looked at the old man sitting across from her. "How should I put it? Your mother's case. According to the normal procedure, she'll be sentenced to at least 10 or 20 years in prison. But since you've come to me, I'll do my best to help you. I saw in the document that one of the suspects who committed the crime with your mother is dead, right?" "Yes, he is the main culprit. My mother is only an accomplice," Hui Yanyan insisted. "Yes, that's a good idea. But the opposing lawyer isn't a fool. He'll find other ways to get your mother a heavier sentence. I think that with my years of experience, the chances of success will be higher if I take over this case. I'll try my best to get your mother the lightest sentence possible. What do you think? What method do you plan to use?" Hui Yanyan was curious. I can't say it now. It's a secret. We have rules in our line of work. If I say it now, wouldn't I lose my job? Well, in that case, let's talk about the price. How much is it?" Huamin took out his wallet and prepared to pay. "If it's money, that's easy. Since Miss Hua was recommended by a friend, I won't charge you too much. I'll give you a discount. How about 1,000,000 yuan?" The man stretched out a finger. Hui Yanyan could not believe it. "What? 1,000,000 yuan? Are you kidding me?" Even though Hui Yanyan was not short of money, she did not want to be taken advantage of. This man was not a famous lawyer. At most, he was a second-tier lawyer who only took on divorce cases. How dare he ask for 1,000,000 yuan? What an exorbitant price. "Mr. Wang, since I said that I was recommended by a friend, how can you ask for such an exorbitant price?" Hui Yanyan was very unhappy. Chapter 28:11. "Miss Hua, that's not right. I'm only charging 1,000,000 because a friend introduced me to you. If it were someone else, I'd charge at least 3,000,000. The old man stretched out 3 fingers and shook them. "Mr. Wang, don't think that I don't know anything. I've asked you before. In all these years, the highest you've ever received was less than 400,000 yuan. Why is it 1,000,000 yuan from me? Are you trying to take advantage of me?" Hui Yanyan was furious. Miss Hua, I'm sorry to hear you say that. Think about it, who else would dare to take your mother's case other than me? Hui Yanyan was suddenly at a loss for words. The old man was right. Hui Yanyan had contacted a lot of lawyers recently, but most of them refused to take her case. The reason was simple. They didn't want to offend Qin Chu and Su Yu. What? You don't have anything else to say, right? I'll be frank with you. You know better than me what kind of people you're dealing with. No one in the industry dares to take your case because they're afraid of ruining their careers. I'm willing to take your case because I have nothing to lose. Worst comes to worst, I'll quit being a lawyer. Plus, you're a pitiful girl running around for your mother, so I'm willing to help you. You're complaining that I'm charging you too much? If that's the case, please leave. I don't think there's any need for us to talk anymore. The old man stood up and walked back to his desk. His attitude toward Hui Yanyan immediately turned cold. Hui Yanyan thought carefully about what he said. He was indeed the first lawyer who dared to take her case. After thinking about it, Hui Yanyan gritted her teeth and decided to pay him. Wait, Mr. Wang, 1 million, right? Agree. But I want to ask, what if you lose? Do I have to pay you 1 million? Of course. Don't forget, as long as I accept this case and defend you and your mother in court, it's equivalent to becoming enemies with the Su family and the Qin family. Even if I lose, you can't let me become enemies for nothing, right? So you have to think carefully, is it worth a gamble? Alright, I agree. I'll give you 1 million, but please defend my mother. Hui Yanyan was also going all out because there was no one else other than Wang. Therefore, regardless of whether it worked or not, he had to give it a try. If that's the case, then it's much easier. However, I have an additional request. After that, the old man walked over and approached Hui Yanyan. What request? Looking at the old man's eyes, Hui Yanyan could vaguely guess what he wanted to do. Sure enough, the old man reached out his hand and placed it directly on Hui Yanyan's thigh. His action was extremely bold. What are you doing? Hui Yanyan was furious. She jumped up and glared at him. Miss Hua, I have a little fetish and I especially like beautiful women. How about you accompany me this time? If you're willing, I can charge you 100,000 less. In your dreams. Get out of my way. You're crazy. After that, Hui Yanyan pushed the old man away and rushed out of the room. Teacher, why did the woman leave? The male assistant was dumbfounded. Just wait and see. She'll come back. She'll definitely agree. The old man looked confident. Chapter 28:12. When Hui Yanyan walked out, she was in a very bad mood. She had been trying to find a lawyer for her mother, but when she finally found one, he asked for 1 million yuan. It wasn't like she couldn't afford 1 million yuan. After all, Shin Mingxi had treated her well all this while. Other than luxury goods, he often gave her money. So Hui Yanyan could afford 1 million yuan. But in the end, he asked her to sleep with him. She was so angry. She was so young, but she was going to sleep with an old man. If Shin Mingxi found out, he would never forgive her. Suddenly, she missed Shin Mingxi so much that she sent him a WeChat message. Honey, what are you doing? There was no reply for a while. Just then she was scrolling through her WeChat moments. She saw a socialite she knew update her WeChat moments. It was a short video. It was obviously a nightclub. Many men and women were drinking and singing. Shin Mingxi's face flashed by. As she recognized him, Hui Yanyan was infuriated again. She dialed the number. Shin Mingxi was drinking with Su Yu. When he saw Hui Yanyan's call, he didn't pick it up. He knew that Su Yu hated Hui Yanyan. He didn't pick up? I'm so angry. Hui Yanyan was going crazy. Hui Yanyan called again, but he still didn't pick up. After 3 more calls, Hui Yanyan sent a WeChat message to the socialite. Honey, are you in Jinzuan? Yeah, the socialite answered vaguely. Hui Yanyan drove to Jinzuan. Hello, welcome. Which room is Shin Mingxi in? Oh, are you talking about young Master Shin? He's upstairs at 888. Who are you to him? I'm his wife, Hui Yanyan said confidently. Then she went upstairs. The waiter at the nightclub was dumbfounded. Isn't young Master Shin divorced? Where did this madam come from? Hui Yanyan came in a fit of anger, so she pushed the door open and went in without a care. Everyone turned their heads to look at them. Hui Yanyan ignored the others and walked straight to Shin Mingxi. You didn't reply to my WeChat messages and you didn't pick up my calls. What do you want? Hui Yanyan questioned. Shin Mingxi raised his head, glanced at her and responded indifferently. I didn't hear you. You didn't hear? Did you not hear it or do you not want to answer it? She was relentless. Yan, if you have anything to say, let's go back and talk. Shin Mingxi felt that there were too many people here and most of them were from the industry. Besides, Su Yu and Tang Chuan were also here, so he didn't want to argue with her here. Especially because of those trivial matters, he would feel very embarrassed. Why should we go back and talk about it? Let's just talk about it here. Did I embarrass you? When you were with me, didn't you already know that I'm a divorced woman with a child? Hui Yanyan went overboard with her words. Tang Chuan was watching the show with a wine glass in his hand. He even laughed in Su Yu's ear. Today, I fucking found out that Hui Yanyan doesn't have a high EQ. What do you think? Su Yu sneered. He had never liked Hui Yanyan. He didn't know what Shin Mingxi was thinking back then. Su Yu even thought that Hui Yanyan had cast a spell on Shin Mingxi. Hui Yanyan, don't go overboard. Shin Mingxi was, after all, a respectable man and Hui Yanyan had embarrassed him like this, which annoyed him a little. Chapter 28:13. I'm going overboard? Shin Mingxi, you have to know who's the one going overboard here. Did I tell you that you betrayed my mother because you wanted to make up with young Master Su? Did I blame you? In the end, I begged you to help me, but look what happened. Your wife is begging for a lawyer like a grandson. What are you doing? You're here drinking with prostitutes? Hui Yanyan lost her rationality and pointed at Shin Mingxi's nose. Drinking with prostitutes? You're saying I'm drinking with prostitutes? Shin Mingxi laughed coldly. It wasn't easy for him to attend a rich second-generation heir's birthday party, but Hui Yanyan accused him of drinking with prostitutes. You're right. If I didn't see a woman's WeChat moments, I wouldn't have known that you're here. No wonder you didn't answer my call. You're with young Master Su. After speaking, Hui Yanyan glanced at Su Yu. Hui Yanyan, I'm telling you, this is between you and Shin Mingxi. Don't drag our Lord Su into this. Tang Chuan was very close to Su Yu. He couldn't stand people slandering Su Yu, so when Hui Yanyan pointed at Su Yu, Tang Chuan panicked. Su Yu, on the other hand, didn't say a word. He was too lazy to stand up for her. Let's talk at home. Shin Mingxi felt very awkward. He grabbed Hui Yanyan's arm and tried to walk out. However, she flung Shin Mingxi away. Then she looked around at the people in the private room and said, No, I'm going to say it here today. Shin Mingxi, I'm asking you one last time. Are you going to help me or not? My mother is the only family I have left. Can you really bear to see me become an orphan? Didn't you say that you love me? How much is your true love worth? Hui Yanyan thought that if she forced Shin Mingxi to submit in front of so many people, she could just apologize later. She didn't expect that with Shin Mingxi's personality, he wouldn't be able to bear being embarrassed in front of so many people. Are you done? Shin Mingxi took a deep breath and stared quietly at Hui Yanyan's face. I just want a word from you. Is it really that difficult? Hui Yanyan refused to give up. Well, you want me to say something, right? Then let me tell you, I won't help you. I definitely won't help you. What does your mother's death have to do with me? Besides, she deserves it. She brought this upon herself. She doesn't deserve my help, Shin Mingxi said harshly. The surrounding onlookers also gasped in astonishment. There were even some people in the crowd who hissed in a low voice. Ha, fine. In order to protect your interests and because you're afraid of Su Yu and Qin Chu, you can only be a coward. Hui Yanyan was even more vicious. Every word was like a knife stabbing into Shin Mingxi's heart. For the first time in his life, he felt so much pain that he couldn't breathe. Tang Chuan gloated on the side. Ah, this is the first time I've seen a woman seeking death. It's so fucking exciting. Hui Yanyan's method will only lead them to a dead end. Su Yu calmly analyzed. Sure enough, Shin Mingxi looked at Hui Yanyan in disappointment. Yes, I'm afraid of Qin Chu and Lord Su. I don't want to help your mother because of my interests. So what? Aren't you a capable person? Then you can deal with it yourself. Don't come to me again and don't bother me. I really don't want to see your face again. What did you say? Shin Mingxi, I dare you to say that again. Hui Yanyan stared at Shin Mingxi in a daze as if she couldn't believe what she had just heard. Chapter 28:14. I said, I don't want to see your face ever again, Shin Mingxi repeated patiently. At this moment, there was no warmth in Shin Mingxi's eyes at all. He had been driven to a dead end by Hui Yanyan and had no feelings for her. Good, very good. You said it yourself, didn't you? Don't regret it. Hui Yanyan pointed at Shin Mingxi with tears in her eyes. No, I don't fucking regret anything I do. When I liked you, I ignored my family's objections and thousands of people's criticisms, but I never regretted it. So today I still don't regret it. Good, very good. Shin Mingxi were finished completely. To save her face, Hui Yanyan initiated the breakup. Okay, I'll give you the house and car as well as the savings and gifts I gave you. If you need, I can give you more money. Let's go our separate ways from now on. You've been with me for so long and I've never mistreated you. Don't fight, I'm tired. Who wants your money? You think you're so great just because you're rich. I don't want it, I can still live without you. I don't want your compensation. Let's see if I can handle it without you. Shin Mingxi, I've seen through you. Men are all the same, once they put on pants they won't admit it. You're tired of sleeping with me, aren't you? You want someone else, right? I'll fulfill your wish. After speaking, Hui Yanyan pushed Shin Mingxi hard, turned around and left, slamming the door behind her. Shin Mingxi had no intention of chasing after her. Young Master Shin, do you want me to send you back to rest? A rich man beside him asked. Oh, it's okay, I'm single. It's no big deal. After speaking, Shin Mingxi sat back down beside Suyu. Then he picked up a bottle of wine and poured himself a full glass. Lord Su, come, let's continue. Are you okay? Seeing that he wasn't in a good mood, Suyu didn't want him to push himself too hard. It's okay, it's really okay. Some people may be destined to be with you but not fated to be together with you. It's good that we can only go this far. I really don't want to continue fighting with her. I'm so tired. Indeed, Hui Yanyan had made Shin Mingxi restless and exhausted recently. Whether it was at the company, at home, or drinking outside. All the time she would send a WeChat message or make a phone call. Then she would talk about nothing but her mother's case. Everyone knew that even the gods did not dare to intervene in her mother's case. At this time, whoever dared to accept it would be going against Qinchu and Suyu. They would definitely not have a good ending. Shin Mingxi wasn't wrong, but Hui Yanyan tied their relationship to her mother's case and threatened Shin Mingxi. That didn't make sense. Does Shin Mingxi love me? That's right, he loved her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done so much for her. He didn't even hesitate to fall out with his family and Suyu. He was ostracized by many people in the circle. Unfortunately, this woman couldn't see how good he was and how much he loved her. In her eyes, if there were 100 good people, she would kill all of them if they weren't good enough. Shin Mingxi suddenly felt a chill in his heart. He was tired, really tired. Even so, he didn't want to fight with Hui Yanyan. After all, they shared the same bed. Although they didn't have a status, they were husband and wife. Shin Mingxi didn't want to go too far. Therefore, he decided that even if they broke up, he wouldn't mistreat Hui Yanyan. But this woman? She didn't appreciate it at all. Tang Chuan patted Shin Mingxi's shoulder and said, "Brother, I have something to tell you. Listen carefully, okay?" Chapter 28:15. Shin Mingxi didn't say anything. Hey Mr. Tang, don't hit him when he's down. He's in a bad mood. Suyu couldn't bear to see Shin Mingxi like this. After his relationship with Shin Mingxi improved, he felt like he was back to the way he used to be. I'm not hitting him when he's down. I'm serious. Bro, let me tell you, you did the right thing by breaking up with Hui Yanyan. Did you know? She's in big trouble this time. She definitely has something to do with what happened to the twins. Although she didn't do it directly, she didn't report it and didn't let the kids talk about it. My brother-in-law, President Qin, is really angry. I don't think he'll let her off the hook. I've talked to Ning in private. She said that her brother is a low-key and cold person who doesn't care about anything, but that's because he doesn't have a bottom line. If he does, he won't tolerate it. So if you continue to be with her like this, I'm afraid you'll be implicated. That's why we broke up. But I still hope she doesn't suffer too much. After all, she's a single mother with a kid. Shin Mingxi was soft-hearted. Does she deserve to be a mother? Does she deserve to be a mother? She should think about the kids. When she saw the twins get kidnapped, she should have told my sister-in-law, Huamin. She even said that she was good friends with my sister-in-law. But look what happened. People shouldn't be so realistic. Let me tell you, if some people want to die, you can't stop them. Shin Mingxi didn't say anything after hearing this, but he felt even more depressed. He drank with Suyu and the others until 2 a.m. Suyu didn't drink too much because he took care of Shin Mingxi. Shin Mingxi drank until he threw up. Then Suyu arranged for An to take him to the Shin family's house. Shin Mingxi's mother couldn't help but feel bad when she saw her son like this. By the time An came back to pick up Su Yu and return to the mansion, it was already 3 a.m. The sun was almost up. President Su, are you hungry? No. Oh, don't you eat supper at this time? An asked. I don't feel like eating today. I'm on a diet. What do you think? Su Yu replied. Are you talkative today? Su Yu looked at Xiaoan amused. Then can you accompany me to have a bite? I'm so hungry. Xiaoan said quietly. Su Yu, what do you want to eat? Can I order anything? Xiaoan asked. I was wondering why your face is so big these days. Are you close to me now? Su Yu looked at An with his arms crossed. No, it's just because I lost pudding in Little Bean a while ago. I was in a bad mood and didn't have much of an appetite. I've just recovered. Alright, I like what you said. At least you have a conscience. What do you want to eat? Lobster porridge. Fuck, you're really not holding back. You want to rip me off, right? Su Yu laughed. These are all peanuts to you, okay? There's nothing wrong with what you said. You're right. Let's go. Lobster porridge. Just like that, Su Yu accompanied An to a 24-hour seafood restaurant in the city. After supper, it was already 5 a.m. Fortunately, the next day was Saturday and there was nothing to do in the company. Don't call me tomorrow. I want to sleep early, Su Yu said as he got out of the car. President Su, look over there. And pointed at the door of Su Yu's mansion. A slender figure swayed in front of the door. Su Yu narrowed his eyes and walked over. Hearing footsteps, the girl turned her head. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxiao Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.